Hello everyone. Let's talk about Azure DevOps. CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous deployment. So how it works using Azure, and that is what we are going to cover in this particular video. In this is a demo video. I will create end-to-end CI/CD pipeline using Azure DevOps. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create Azure Data Factory and pipeline there. So this will be our source. So anything in future, anything will change in Azure Data Factory, that will trigger and then run the pipeline. That is what the purpose of creating ADF is a source, right? Once ADF created, then I will create the project on Azure DevOps, and then I will integrate Azure DevOps with pipeline, ADF pipeline integration part. Once those two integrated, then there is something I need to bring code, upload the code, pre and post deployment script, which is available in Microsoft documentation. I'll show you how and what that is. Once I upload this documentation in DevOps, I will create the pipeline. I will start the pipeline in DevOps using classic editor. So what will be happen here is it will read the ADF code, and then it will build or create the artifact in this through this pipeline, and also it will enable the continuous integration at that point of time. Integration part, like building part, create the build, right? So that will happen here. Once that's done, we will be creating a release pipeline. Once we build continuous integration part done, we will build the release pipeline. On that release pipeline, we will configure continuous deployment at that point of time, and we'll bring that artifactory there, and then and deploy that code to the production or UT environment. We'll set up that, and at the end I will show you how to set up how many types we can set up this pipeline to run this pipeline. We can schedule basically, or we can have approval based pipeline run as well. So I'll show you that at the end. And also, once everything is completed, at the end, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna come back this ADF, and then I'm gonna make some changes in this Azure Data Factory, and we'll watch if that going to be automatically deploy or process deploy or not, right? We'll watch auto deployment happen or not after make a change in ADF. So this is all we are going to cover in this particular video. Let's jump into it. Hopefully it will be a smooth one. So I have two environments. I have one Azure DevOps here, and I have one Azure account. So in Azure account, let me create Azure Data Factory. Let me create one quick Azure Data Factory. It's called, I'm going to choose the resource group. One second. My resource group, currently my resource group is called the Warehouse Dev RZ. I'm going to name is Dilip pipeline. Dilip Azure Data Factory. I'll say Dilip Azure Data Factory, right? And then I choose the East US, and everything will be same. I'm going to go to review and create. Let me go to the Azure DF name is already taken. Okay, ADF. Let me say 2. This is already taken. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think this is not Azure ADF 1, 2, 3. I am creating as a part of this work. Dilip ADF 1, 2, 3. So these three things, this is my resource group. Let me save this information on my in portal. I will need this later. So this is my resource group. This is my name, ADF name, and this is my location. So I saved these 3 items, right? So I'll show you where we need to. So when you create our pipeline, we'll need this information as a parameter. We'll pass this resource group, ADF name, and parameter. So I'll show you that later. And then I'm going to hit this as I'm going to click on create, and this ADF will create. Okay, deployment completed. So ADF, Dilip ADF. Let me refresh. I should have some other ADF. Yeah, Dilip ADF 1, 2, 3. So this is what my ADF is. So I'm gonna launch this studio, this ADF. When I launch this studio, I can set up the repository. Before I set up the repository on my ADF, I can create the repository in my DevOps. So project in DevOps. So let me create the project called Dilip Dilip CICD. Let me call Dilip CICD, right? And then it's going to the private. And then if you see the advanced, the control version is will be using the Git, and then work progress will be basic. So it utilizes a Git version. So I'm going to click on create. So it will create the project for me, Dilip CICD, right? In this project, now this project was created. Now there is no repo at this point of time, right? What I can do is I can go to my ADF and I can set up the that repo. So repos type, it will be Azure DevOps, and then this is my intra ID. I'm going to click on continue. For repo, select repository, I'm going to select my organization name. Currently this is my organization name. I will choose my project name now. The project name is Dilip CICD. That is what I created in DevOps. So as soon as I select the CICD, repository name will be Dilip CICD as well, right? And collaboration branch, I can create as a master. So I have that master. Can create. It's just a name, branch name. And publish branch is automatically is detected ADF publish, and then root folder will be indicated automatically. Custom comment, I don't need this custom comments, and import the existing resource to the repo. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to click on apply. With that configuration, repo configuration, as soon as this completed, repo is connected here, right? So if I go back to the DevOps now, and then if I refresh my project, I should be able to see my repo here. This is connected. This is ADF. It's just get connected here. So I don't have any packages with my ADF. So this doesn't have anything. It's just a configuration config file and then readme file. That's all. Now let me go and create some packages on ADF. For that, I'm going to go to the author and I'll click on plus, and then let me create the pipeline. So since this is my sample pipeline, I'm gonna use a wait transformation. You can do copy activity. You can do all the data warehousing activity based on the need. But now this is just a sample. Since it doesn't need to be configure anything, this is sample wait. So this is what my basically pipeline is. This is basically the sample pipeline created on ADF. So I'm gonna save this one. Before I without saving, I cannot publish it, right? So without publishing, this pipeline will not be available in Azure. So in Azure resource, without having these in Azure, it cannot detect in DevOps. So I have to publish that first to detect that. So click on publish. Click OK. It will take a couple of seconds to publish since this is a small project. Publish has completed. Okay. Now if I go to CI/CD or my DevOps and then refresh my page, my pipeline, you see the pipeline is just arrived here because we already configured in between. So pipeline here. Now what we need to do is, as of now, let me go back my picture. What we have done here is we have completed create ADF pipeline activity, basically sample pipeline activity. We completed this. We integrated ADF with Azure DevOps. We completed that as well. So we have seen this thing on ADF. Now the next is we need to before I create the pipeline in Azure DevOps. Pipeline is basically CI/CD pipeline. Before I create the CI/CD pipeline in Azure DevOps, I need to copy the code pre and post deployment script. Pre and post deployment script, and I have to upload those on DevOps. So basically what it does is a parameterized script. I can copy from the from Google, and what we can do is we can upload those, and I'll show you what that script will look like. All right, so give me 1 second. I'm going to find that script. Okay, if you search your Data Factory continuous integration, continuous delivery script on Google and Microsoft window, there is the sample pre and post deployment script tab, and then these are the script that we need. Let me create a new tab here and paste. This is pre script, and the another one is post script. So I need to save this. So basically what this is doing is reading the ARM template from the default directory. So default directory will be our location, source location. So and then from the resource group, this will be our resource group, and then data factory name will be this data factory name. So these will be parameterized. That's why I save these three things at the beginning, right? So at the end, we'll later on we'll configure this. So this template will read this information. So location, resource group, and then data factory name. So I'm gonna save this one. Is let me go here, and then let me save this file on my save as on my let's say download folder, and then I'm gonna save them as a pre and post deployment, and the format is PS1. So I have to save this as a PS1, very important, right? So it will our pipeline will read this file as a parameterized format. So I'm going to save this. Uh, I replace that and save it. So now next I need to upload those file in DevOps. So let me go to my DevOps here, and then part of the pipeline. In this pipeline, I'm going to upload that file. So click three dot and then click on upload, and browse that file from download folder, and pre-deployment I just upload it and click on OK and commit. So I uploaded pre and post deployment file here as well. So with that, our next step is completed as well. Now the next step is we will be creating the pipeline, Azure DevOps pipeline. Let me go to the pipeline here, a pipeline, and then I have to create the pipeline. So in order to create the pipeline, there's multiple languages you can choose, but I specifically said that use the classic editor. So we'll be using the classic editor. So for that, if you do not see your classic editor, I think sometimes it does not appear here. In that case, what you need to do, you need to go to your project setting, and then you gotta go to the repo setting here, pipeline setting, and then you have to enable or disable some of the item from here. Find it and enable. But for now, I have already there, so I can go to the create pipeline again, and then I am gonna click on classic editor here, and then I'll choose Azure repo git and the libcicd repo the ICD, and then I'll be choosing my branch, not the master but the branch, and then I'm gonna hit continue. For the template, there is many template available here, but for now we'll be choosing the empty template from the top, empty job. Within an empty job, so now is display right here. So this empty job, what you need to do is you need to click on plus, and the job you wanted to bring here is build job. So the build job is, let me select build. So what build is? Publish build actually. So publish build artifact. We will be bringing this publish build artifact here. Let me bring on that. So publish build. So what is going to do within the agent, this job is basically anything is coming from the ADF, it will build. It will create the artifact, right? So in this artifact, what I'm gonna do, I have to do is I have to go to let me save and queues, and then save and run. You can say give the name, but yeah, before I go other, so let me go to the pipeline again and then click on this pipeline. I have to go and configure some couple of things. So again, you have to click the artifact and drop here, and then the most important thing is you have to provide the path, actually the path to publish, where you want to publish that path. So for me, what I'm gonna choose is I'm gonna click on three dot, and then it will detect our git source. I'm gonna drop down, and this is our project folder. So I'm gonna choose that project folder. So this project folder will need to be built. So this project folder need to be built. So I have to choose this one, and okay. So I choose this project folder to path, and now what I need to do is I need to go to variable section. And okay, I gotta go to trigger. Let me save and save that one again, and let me go back here. Okay, I don't need to click that, but let me click on pipeline again, and I'm gonna click on edit. Let me click on trigger. Now, okay, we basically configured step 4 pipeline. Now CI/CD, right? Basically, and now what we are doing to do here is on step 6, create the DevOps release pipeline for continuous integration and deployment. So we need to enable this. We create the pipeline. Now we have to integrate further integration, deployment, continuous integration and deployment. For that, what you need is so this is our we build it, and now we got to go to the trigger here, and then at this side you have to build this delib CI/CD package and enable continuous integration. This is the important thing. If you do not add this, it's not gonna work. So just click this and verify that your branch ADF published branch it works. I'm gonna save that again. That change, save and run. I'm gonna click on release as well. I think there is something I have to do. Azure pipeline, Azure pool, Azure pipeline for agent pool, and there is a Azure pipeline. For variable group trigger, we just added trigger option. We don't need to do anything here. History. And I need to provide the variable somewhere. Let me find how to add those variable. It didn't come out automatically. Okay, the variable I have to add in actually when we create the parameter, create the release pipeline. So when you create, so that will be our next step basically. Okay, everything good. What we created a build here and pipeline, and then we enable the trigger here. Now what we need to do is we need to create the release within the pipeline. We need to create a release. So in order to create the release, I just need to hit release here, and then I gotta create the new pipeline and add release as well. So this will create the release. So in pipeline, we just provide the build or design to build ADF. Now we are going to configure the release here. In order to, when I click the release, it will create just like this. Now I gotta choose empty job again, like we have done earlier. There is multiple option we can the template we can choose, but for now we will be choosing the empty job. And then I'm gonna choose that as a UAT or production. So I wanna use this as a production. Let's say prod. I'm gonna directly deploy to the prod. Let's say if you have the UAT environment, we will be creating another folder for UAT. But since this is demo, I will be doing this production deployment directly after RTP. The build is completed, right? So I choose this, and then I'm gonna save that one, and then save these change. Okay, what I have done there is the artifact. So for this release pipeline now, if I come back, so this is what the production side, and then for left hand side this is artifact. So if you remember, in pipeline earlier we build the artifact, so you have to bring that artifact here. So in order to do that, if you just click here, and then it's gonna detect your build, and then project CI/CD, and your source will be delib CI/CD, this one. Then you are bringing the latest one version, and then this. Once you select it, basically your build. Earlier you build the package, now you copy that build here. Then your build will go to flow to the right hand side. Now the time come for set up the variable again in this new pipeline. So now here what you need to do is I need to provide the set the variable. The first will be I need to provide the resource group. Second will be data factory name, and third will be the location. So for resource group will be this. For data factory is this, and location is that. So I saved them earlier, so I don't have to. Otherwise, I have to go to my data factory, and then I have to find this is data factory name, and this is resource group name right here, and the location is Istria. I can get it from here as well. It's the same thing. Okay, I'm gonna save this change. I have to keep saving this change, otherwise it's will not be saved it. Okay, so I save this variable. Now I can go back to the pipeline, and I think I am ready to do our job. So next is I will be creating trigger for artifact. So when you say the trigger artifact, I have to I have to enable continuous deployment. Let me enable continuous deployment. Whenever we say the continuous deployment here, the earlier pipeline was a regular pipeline was integrated pipeline. Now this is the deployment pipeline, right? So I have to enable that one as well. So earlier we enable for integration, continuous integration. Now I enable for deployment, continuous deployment. So this is all I need to do. This is very important. Now once I enable this, I have to save this one. I'm going to close this once it's saved. Now in production side, I am ready to configure the production as well. So for that, I am going to click here this pre-deployment condition. So before you deploy, what we can be done here, right? So we can do the manual only as well if you choose so. But after release or after this CI/CD or build completed, there is a multiple option. Like we can schedule your job run, right? Or we can do something called pull request after the deployment completed. Or we can do before we deployed, we can do approval thing. So if I enable this approval, so basically what it does is pre-deployment approval. Basically, before you deploy, somebody need to approve. If we want to do that, we can do so. Let me go that way so I can show you how it works. So if I enable this, I have to provide my email address, like company email address, right? So let me choose my Dilip CI/CD, right? Dilip CI/CD team. So I'm gonna choose the Dilip CI/CD team as an approver. So this team will be approved later on, and I'm gonna save this change here. Save without a comment. I can close this. Now, what I can click here. One second. I can go back here, and then I can. No, I'm not gonna add any more step. Let me click on one job and one task here, and then I can click plus. One second. Okay, I need to add nuggets here. So NUG nugget. So nugget is basically it required for this pipeline. And then I'm gonna bring this nugget to restore just in case by the Microsoft Corporation. You can look through in detail what this is and how it works. But for now, I'm gonna bring here and then I'm gonna save this change as well. Okay. Now, with that being said, now what I can do is I should be able to. Okay, now I should be able to create the release. So this is all we have done for as a part of the release. So in release, the first part, left hand side, we create the build, we bring the build from the other pipeline, and then we have schedule the prod deployment. We configure a couple of things. So what we have done, let me quickly view again. For the pre-deployment condition, we have choose approval process. So somebody has to approve for before deployment. The second is we created some agent job, run the job to run the job, and added the nugget, things like that, right? And we also added the variable of this our data factory. These things are done. Once everything done, I can create the release now. So in order to create the release, I can go up here and then create the release for production. It's automatically detect the production. If there is a UAT, it will detect the UAT. You can click this. Once you click this, it will detect the production as well here as well. So you can do the release description here, or you can just click on create. Once you click on create, you create the release as well. Now, you create the release, right? So now you can view the release. You create the release. Now you can view the release by going here. So if you click the release, click this release here, you should be able to see this window after viewing the release. And then what you can do is you can click on deploy. You can ask for deployment by clicking here or clicking here. If you want to do the multiple deploy. Let me quickly ask for deployment. Once I hit the deployment, somebody need to approve this deployment. So let me ask for deployment. Click on deployment and then and deploy. As soon as I request for the deployment, it is basically pending approval. Since I give my own credential for the approver, it show me here to approve it. Until and unless I click on approve, it's not gonna deploy your change. So let me approve it, and also let me approve with a comment or something, right? So I approve it. As soon as I approve, it's going to fire these change. Okay, the initialize the job. You see, the production job has been succeeded. If I go to so since my ADF doesn't have much, if I have the copy activity and things like that, I should in that case I would have verify the destination data. But as of now, I don't have much. But what I'm gonna show you is I'm gonna next show you. I'm gonna make a change. So again, like I said, what we have done is we ran the release pipeline, right? Just right now. Now what I'm going to do is the last option. I will update the ADF and watch for auto deployment. So this is I'm going to do it. Before I make the change or ADF, this is what my stage is. Let me quickly go to the repo and then refresh. It would have something for this package. If I click on this package, since that package doesn't have the sample pipeline only right now. So this is what 24 minute ago is configured. So let me do one thing. Let me make a change on ADF, right? Let me come here and then make one more pipeline, maybe basically. So let me create another pipeline, uh, test pipeline 2 on the same Data Factory. So I'm gonna bring the same wait command, then test wait 2, right? Basically, so I don't have to configure much. So this is what I made a change on my pipeline. I'm gonna save this change. Without saving, I cannot publish. So without publishing, the change cannot detect here. But let me publish this quickly, and then I will show you. As soon as this publish completed, it will detect our change here. So I made a change on pipeline. I created new pipeline or update existing pipeline here. So it's basically what it does. Publish completed, right? Publishing is completed. So if I go to the release or DevOps, and then if I just refresh my page, I see the another pipeline is just now is detected. It already came here in repo already updated. Repo is updated. Let me go to the pipeline, DevOps pipeline, and then see if there is any other activity. You see, everything is going. Let me click on edit, and then go to actually the release. Is release 2 is already fired here. Release 1 come. Release 2 is on progress, and it is approval pending stage, because we said that approval pending, right? If I go to the edit button, um, and I click on this, so isn't let me do default this one. And then go to the pipeline. So basically, what is it happening? Okay, so I gotta go to stay. I'm gonna save it, and then I'm gonna go to the. Oh, I'm not gonna create the release. I have to go to watch release, right? Basically, watch release. Basically, there is another release in process, but this is an pending approval. So somebody has to be approve that approval. Once that approved, then it will go. If it is not approved by 30 minutes, let me once I click, it asks me to, since it is I have to approve it. Let me quickly approve this change. This change has approved. As soon as now it automatically fire this change. So now is deploying. This change has been deploying. Prod in progress. Okay, so another deployment is just completed by our change to release as done. So we make anything we make a change here, in ADF, and then once we publish that change, it will directly detect in repository, and that repo will picked from the pipeline by the pipeline that we created, and then this will deploy the change. Hope this makes sense. So basically, in this video, what we have covered here is, in summary, we created ADF, Azure Data Factory pipeline, and then we have added those Azure Data Factory in DevOps, integrate those, and we added copy pre and post deployment script and upload them in DevOps, and then we created pipeline in DevOps. In that pipeline, we have created the artifact, which is build DevOps or ADF activity pipeline there. Then we also configure the continuous integration and continuous deployment in DevOps pipeline, and we release them. And also at the end, what we have done was we update our ADF, and we see our change was deployed through the Azure DevOps. This is all I want to cover in this video. Hopefully this will be helpful for you. Thank you so much for your time. Bye for now.